Welcome to If Mama Only Knew podcast, where we explore topics related to mental health, well being, and personal growth. Please note that while I, Anna, am a licensed therapist, the information and advice shared on this podcast are for educational and informational purposes only. The content provided here is not intended to replace or substitute for professional mental health services with a licensed professional. Thank you for listening and remember to take care of yourself.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of If Mama Only Knew podcast. This is Tatiana.
And this is Anna.
We're back. It feels good to be back and recording. We have been just kind of getting used to the schedule of, work, school, balancing, personal life and getting that recording in. And it's been really fun, trying to figure everything out. Welcome back to another episode. We do record on Sundays, so kind of do a recap. How was your weekend, Mom? How was your past week? And how do you feel going into the new week?
Yeah, my week was great, actually. My weekends start on Thursday because I only work 3 days, and Thursdays are my last day that I work. So Thursday was great because I actually did something different. I went to a comedy show to see Kid Fury. Shout out to him. He is one of the original podcasters that I really love. Him and Crystal do The Read, one of our favorite podcasts, like I said. His show was really great. It's a comedy show. It was at the Hollywood Improv. Funny story, Tatiana and I were actually supposed to go watch the show together, but I kind of got a little ahead of myself and bought the tickets and didn't realize it was 21 and over venue. So I couldn't take her. As you guys know, Tatiana's 20.
I know. And no, I don't have a fake ID, so I could not go.
Yeah.
Even though half of our generation has a fake ID.
Which, as a mom, I feel like you shouldn't have a fake ID. So I think it worked out.
Yeah, I don't think I don't want a fake ID or need one, but yeah, that was that.
So she missed out. So anyway, the show was great. I ended up taking.
So she missed out.
I know. Sorry. The show was amazing. I took my niece, Amy. So that was great. She enjoyed the show as well. So that was fun. Friday, I did a lot of reading, which I think I told you guys I love to read. And so any day I can spend just reading is a plus for me. And then Saturday was my mom's birthday party, which today is her actual birthday. So happy birthday to her. And I just pretty much chilled. What about your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It's kind of the same with me. My weekends start on Thursdays, but it's not really because I work Thursdays. And then I work for the most part Fridays and then Saturdays and Sundays. So it's kind of not really my weekend, but it is but I do work all weekend, but it's pretty good. I just worked. I went to my grandma's birthday party yesterday. What else did I do? I'm what did I do?
I know. I feel like you've done a lot lately, and I just can't keep track of
I know,
all the things you have
I don't even know what
on.
I did. I think for the most part, just work, honestly. And then just catching up on schoolwork. Today we went to the Lemon Festival.
Tell the listeners what the Lemon Festival is about. It's in our little town that we live in.
Yeah, so Lemon Festival is basically
It's literally like a festival with everything having to do with lemons, right?
Yeah, so Lemon Festival is a thing we have every year in our town. I think other, cities have their own festivals too. I know Strawberry Festival, I've heard of it. Banana Festival, Avocado Festival, so many different festivals.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have the Lemon Festival in our town, and it's
kind of the
lemons.
kickoff of the fall. It's kind of usually towards the end of the summer, definitely at the end of the summer, coming into fall.
Yeah,
and they have
they have everything lemon that you could think of.
Food, entertainment.
Yeah. They have food vendors. They have entertainment, little small attractions for the kids, like the jumper things. They have
like the
ice
bouncy
cream. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
ice cream. They have cotton candy, lemonade, of course, lemon pie, lemon bars, everything. And I would remember, like, I would love the lemon festival growing up because, you know, that's like what our small town would have, and it would always be so fun. But like growing up, like I don't think I had gone in like the past 2 years.
No, since the pandemic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, damn. So actually more than 2 years, but we wanted to check it out. I totally didn't even know that it was going on. I just saw it on someone's story and I was like, wait, it's the Lemon Festival? Like, no, I work all weekend, but I didn't work this Sunday. So I was like, we got to go check it out today. So we did, but it was a hot mess.
Yeah.
So many people. Today's the last day of it. So yeah, I think everyone was trying to like squeeze in.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of people. We walked in and we walked right out.
Yeah.
We literally, because we were really hungry and we were trying to figure out what to eat. Everything was such a long line. And I was like, damn. Even just for a lemonade, the line
Well,
was
it's
so long.
outdoors. It's in
It's
a
out,
park.
like a park.
Yeah, but you know, obviously it's like closed off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the area where the festival is. So we walked into the closed-in area where
Mm-hmm.
the festival's held, and we walked around for a couple minutes, and we were out of there.
Yeah, way too many people. I was
Mm-hmm.
getting like really hot and anxious. I was like, nope, I gotta get out of here. So we ended up just getting dinner like across the way. We have a little like shopping center / food. So we went to go eat, and that was pretty good. That just goes to show I can really be like, if I don't like something, I'm out of there, and I won't put myself in uncomfortable situations at times. But I need to work on that because I can't always just leave. Because I kind of regret it now. I'm like, damn, like it's not gonna be till next year. And I didn't even go. I didn't even freaking get anything lemon.
Well, what were you looking forward to getting?
There's just like this lemon ice cream, like Italian ice cream that would always be so
Oh,
good.
gelato.
No, not
No?
gelato. It was like just like an Italian ice cream, kind of like soft texture, kind of like gelato, but it wasn't gelato.
Oh, okay.
So there was that, and then like the lemon bars are pretty good. Like the lemon cotton candy is good. Obviously a lemonade.
Yeah.
I just like to snack. Like I like those little fairs and like little festivals because I like to get like little snacks. Like you guys know, I think I've mentioned this. I love to try new food, so I wanted to do that, but I couldn't. I was not feeling it. It was a lot of bodies. It was
Yeah.
getting a little toasty. We're gonna be having a heat wave again, so by the time you guys are seeing this, I'm sure you guys will be feeling the heat. Let me actually pull it up right now. We're all excited, like, ooh, it's officially fall now.
Yeah.
But in our small town, we don't get like seasons. Like we're
Yeah.
kind of just like, I mean, we do. I think it's so unpredictable though. We get like our rain season. We get our rain. But for the most part, no.
But I feel like this year has been super warm, not like other years. So if you're like in central Southern California, you're probably going to feel the heat wave. If you're listening from other areas, I'm sure you won't. I mean, but the weather, I feel like there's, I don't know, something going on because isn't there like a storm, a tropical storm or something going on? Hurricanes, yeah.
I don't know the name
In
of it,
Florida?
but yeah, praying for everyone
Yes.
that's in that area too, because that's like really scary to think about.
I can't
and
imagine.
hope everyone is, safe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But going back to the heat wave, we're supposed to be up to 91 next week, the highest. So
Yeah.
not looking forward to that because at school the campus is kind of big, so
Yeah.
one of my classes I have to walk across the whole campus,
Yeah.
and when it's hot it's just not it. But
You should invest in a scooter
stop. I don't even think you can ride a scooter on campus
or a skateboard.
no.
You can skateboard, right? You can
I think
ride a skateboard.
I don't even know, honestly.
I have footage of you as a kid. Yeah, riding a skateboard.
On the penny
so
boards?
we'll
Do you guys
actually
remember-
post this on our
No, we
socials.
won't.
Yes, we will.
Do you guys remember penny boards? If you guys remember penny boards, put it in the comments or something, because that was like the thing.
Yeah, and I will post a video of Tatiana riding that down the hill. doing
thought it
like
was
some
so
kind of
cool.
yoga move. Yeah, a
I thought
yoga
it was
pose.
so cool with that penny board. But yeah, I think you never ended up saying going into the new week. Tomorrow's Monday, so
Oh
how are you
yeah,
feeling about the new week?
yeah. I'm actually dreading the week, to be quite honest.
No.
Um, I think we updated you guys last week on, we were determined to work out together and we were accountability buddies. And girl, we have not gone to the gym. We went once last week.
I mean, it's a lot
Yeah.
because I think when we were consistent and going, how we were telling you guys last time,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't like, at least I didn't have like so much going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it was easier to like hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And I think that yeah, it was just something that was easier at the time, and then now
Mm-hmm.
that we have, a little bit more going on, we're both pretty busy with like
Mm-hmm.
work, and now that I'm in school too, that takes up a lot of my time. So by the
Mm-hmm.
time I am home, usually on weekdays when I'm working, it's already like 7. You guys know daylight savings is gonna
Mm-hmm.
come around.
Mm-hmm.
Sun's gonna be going down by like what
Mm-hmm.
4:35 now. So it's just kind of depressing when you get
Yeah.
home and it's already dark. It's kind of like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And then my only other option is to go to the gym at like 4 a.m.,
Yeah.
which I think would not be healthy. So yeah, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to be consistent. But go on. Yeah, you
No,
were
it's
saying.
really hard, and I want to share this with you guys because I think sometimes we all do it as humans. We make assumptions and we look at people on the outside and we're like, "Oh, they have it all together." But the truth of the matter is that no, not everybody does. And I feel like I've said it before, for me, the one thing I feel like it's going to be a lifelong journey is self-care and just really having healthy habits. As you know, I'm a mental health provider, and the work that I do can be emotionally draining and taxing. So I feel like I'm really good about giving a lot of myself to my work, to my family, to my friends, to those that I love. But I struggle giving it back to myself. And so I want to share this just to give you guys, to normalize really how
Yeah.
difficult it is, right?
And that therapists aren't
We're not perfect.
always perfect.
No,
Yeah.
by no means. I feel like there are misconceptions out there that mental health providers are, they have it all together. They have their lives all figured out. That's not true.
Yeah.
And I feel like any therapist who's ethical and who's honest will tell you, like, no, we don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
We all struggle, right? And so for me, I'm sort of in a way dreading starting my week because I'm starting to sort of already go through the list of things I need to do, which includes working out, moving around, implementing a new routine for myself because I feel like I fell off for, I think, all last week. I really didn't work out. I wasn't active, or I wasn't as active as I would have hoped I was. And so I think this week it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
I feel like when you fall off a routine, getting back on is the hardest part. But once
Yeah.
you're doing it,
Once you're on it, it's like it feels so easy.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what's like so like good about that. But yeah, definitely getting it started is the hardest part.
Yeah.
But once you're in it, it's easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel that like dreading the new
Yeah.
week a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I know it'll be like some challenges. I have a really busy week coming up. I don't know how everything fell into like the same week,
Yeah.
but I have a lot going on school wise,
Assignments,
personal
appointments.
wise.
Yeah.
Yes, like I'll take you guys through my week. So tomorrow, Monday, I have a dentist appointment and a nail appointment. Which is like, okay, I don't need the nail appointment, but it's something that's like my self-care. That's what, I like to do for myself. So I set that time aside. Tuesday, I have a hair appointment. You guys will see me next episode with new hair. So you guys will see that. What else do I have? Oh, Wednesday, I have a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
And then I also have a Zoom meeting for some exciting things when it comes to school, transferring wise. Thursday, I think it's like a free day actually. Well, school still, but it's a little bit more free. That's the day that I like squeeze in my schoolwork, because when it gets to like Thursday, Friday, that's when like my week picks up with work. So I don't have as much time for schoolwork, but yeah, we're kind of booked and busy.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I love being busy because that just doesn't give me time to like lay in bed and like get depressed. So I like being busy. I like doing like my big girl appointments. I love just like running errands. So I'm excited for this week. I'm definitely a little bit overwhelmed. I know I have a lot coming up, some like midterm kind of things and some exams. I have some presentations coming up for my communication class. We have like a presentation. It's not till like a couple weeks, but like thinking about presenting in front of the whole class is like really making me nervous. So yeah, we have a couple of that, but for the most part, I'm excited. I have some things to look forward to when it comes to like my nails and my hair. There's kind of like a mix of like things in there. Obviously no one wants to go to the dentist or the doctor, but I kind of like, I think I did that on purpose though, like squeezed in those self-care things during the week just so that I can, you know.
But you mentioned something important, that self-care is going to get your nails done, going to get your hair done.
Yeah, it can come in like so many different forms.
Not just self-care is also, remember, self-care is also doing the chores and like doing the practical things that you have to do, that if you get them out of the way, they save you a headache and potentially getting sick over time, right?
I woke up so early today to do laundry. I was like, it was piling up, and that was self-care because I needed to do laundry. I was putting it off, and today I was like, I gotta do it. So I woke up at like 7 a.m. I was like, Mom, don't get scared if the door opens. I'm gonna be doing laundry, but
but that's good though, because you got it out of the way. So after we record, it's gonna be like resetting for the week. It's when I deep clean. I like to deep clean on Sundays just because it makes me feel like I'm starting off the week on the right foot. And then meal prepping for the week, and also implementing a new gym routine for myself. So that's why I say I am kind of dreading it, because it's going to be busy and it's going to be a lot of work. But I think overall it's going to be a good thing to implement these things so that the rest of the week and the new month that's coming can go by and run smoother, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just doing things so that it can be easier, like in the long run. Like,
exactly.
Just prepping for a lot of things. And in the moment it feels hard, but like it's worth it later.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, oh, I can relate because I'm putting this one thing off, either a physical, either an assignment, or deep cleaning, or whatever it is you're putting off, you know, let this be your reminder that it's okay. We all struggle, but sometimes we gotta just do it. I love listening to podcasts, and when I clean, I put on my headphones and I listen to a podcast, right? And the time goes by so fast. So maybe listen to us as you're cleaning, as you're working out, as you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. It makes it go by fast.
I also wanted to bring up, like, when we went to the Lemon Festival, it was funny because going there, like, I think it kind of sometimes like opens my eyes when it comes to like how anxious I really am. And I don't know, it's like, it's something that I'm definitely working on, but yeah, I'm like all thinking back on it, I'm like, oh, I really wanted that lemonade. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a small little break. We'll be right back.
So what's on your mind this week? Is there anything that you wanted to talk about? I know last week's episode included a lot. We talked about some, you know, serious issues. We talked about our homegirl, Shadi Bay, which I hope, you know, again, if she, you know, watches the episode, I hope she knows that we came from a place of, you know, caring.
She's not going to watch that.
Why? She'd be like, who are these girls?
Yeah, I think social media is just crazy. TikTok is crazy.
There's so much going on TikTok right now. So much drama.
Something that stood out to me though, And I'm just gonna briefly talk about this because I really don't want to give it too much like attention. Just
It's almost like,
because
what is new this week? What got on your nerves this week? Because I feel like every week
always something.
there's something new,
Like,
right?
people are so unhinged and it's
Yeah.
crazy. So there's this family on TikTok. I don't know their account name. I don't know anything. I'm not even gonna say their name because I don't know it, first of all. But
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna give them the attention.
Yeah.
To, like,
the views.
But the point is, it's this family on TikTok. They have
They're
it's
Latinx,
mom and
right?
dad. Yeah, it's like a mom and dad. And like I think they have like 4 or 5 daughters. I don't know. They're all, I think their age is like 15 or 16 is the oldest, and then the youngest is like, I don't know, like
Like
4,
four.
5. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the point is they had a video resurface. I don't know if it was recent or like from a little bit ago. That was basically the girls all like, on live or making a TikTok. And I don't even know what possessed them to post this either. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was like the oldest. I think it was like on her account. She was like doing her hair. Her mom
Like
was
a
helping
get ready
her with
with
her
me, I
hair.
think,
Yeah, and they were
yeah.
like all in the room. And then the little girl, one of the little girls, she was like, "Oh, like, Mom, like, why won't you let me dye my hair blonde? Like, you're letting her dye her hair blonde. Like, why would you let me? Like, please." And then this is where it goes into like the colorism.
Yeah.
First off, the other little girl that the mom is gonna let dye her hair, because the oldest sister has her hair like highlights blonde, and then the other little girl wanted to dye her hair, and her mom's gonna let her. And the thing about this other little girl, why they're not letting her dye her hair, is because she's morenita, and she's a darker complexion than the rest of them. She is not even dark. I don't even know, like, her.
For context, the 4 or 5 sisters, they have a different shade of brown, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The oldest one or the eldest one with the blonde hair, she's more on the fair skin side, right?
They all are, and I guess the little girl, she's a little like darker, and they're like, "Well, I'm morenita," and like they're like, "It's gonna wash you out. Like, you can't have blonde hair." And the other little girl is screaming in the background, "A black girl with blonde hair."
They said I didn't see that part.
Yes, the little girl.
One
She
of the-
can't be any older than like 6, maybe 7.
Oh wow, I didn't know about this part.
Maybe even younger. Yeah, the little girl, the one that is the mom is letting her dye her hair. She says that, and the other one starts crying out of frustration because her mom is not letting her dye her hair
because she's
she's darker.
complected,
And then the mom is saying out of pocket stuff of, "You're gonna look India. You're gonna basically saying you're gonna look Indian."
like AKA Native American, not even
Yeah.
Indian from like India, but like
and
Native
then it's
American.
like saying that as like a insult.
I like it, yeah.
And it was like, this is crazy. Like, watching this video was just insane. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And this little girl was just so frustrated, and she was crying, and yeah, it was just crazy to see. And the fact that they're getting some backlash, but on their accounts they haven't addressed it. They're still going live. They're still making that money. They're still getting support from their supporters. And I think they did a live, and the dad came out and was like, "Don't apologize. What are we gonna apologize for? We didn't do anything wrong." And that's just the sad truth of like a lot of Latino households and how they think. And to see a little girl say that to her sister, a black girl with blonde hair, like, it's just crazy. And even her mom, like, saying that, like, it was crazy. And it was just like, it was heartbreaking seeing that little girl. And it's just like, there was a lot of stitches on it.
People were dragging them. I saw that. The video that I saw, I don't think I saw the original video. I think the clip that I saw was mom, who, for context, mom appears to be like a white passing Latina. She's fair skinned, and dad is more on the tan, darker side. And I believe he's also Latino. And all the sisters, like Tatiana said, they're all pretty much, white passing. And then maybe there's, with the exception of the one that wanted to dye her hair, she's tan. And so I saw mom's reaction to her daughter crying, and the mom did say, like, te vas a ver como una india,
Yeah.
meaning like you're gonna look indigenous, basically.
Yeah.
When Latinos say India, they mean like they're alluding to like the indigenous features, right? Not like in Indian from like India, which I feel like I have to clarify that part. And so mom said, no, te vas a ver como una India. Again, there's like a negative connotation to calling someone India. Like it's not a compliment
Exactly.
in the Latino community, right? And so again, like we're looking at
That was
this
crazy.
as problematic and inappropriate, and like this little girl is like crushed and she's crying, and so now there's this backlash, and the mom's coming out saying, we didn't mean that. Mom, you know, from what I saw, she's apologizing for
I didn't see the mom apologizing.
Mom-
The only thing I saw them respond was like, I caught them on a live, or I caught a clip. You know, people repost like the T pages, and I saw like a clip of it, like, and the dad was like, "Don't apologize, like they're just haters," like, and I was just like,
they didn't see. It seems like seemingly they don't see anything wrong with what they did. And from the clip that I saw, allegedly mom was apologizing over not letting her daughter dye her hair and saying that this blonde hair won't look good on you because you're tan. But she's not even really catching on to what the real problem
like
is.
the bigger picture.
Right.
And I think what other people were stitching it and kind of saying too is like, how is she gonna grow up and be? Obviously, in their household, we already know we don't see in their household. Obviously, that's a big thing with social media. We don't see every part of their lives, but just from that clip and then me being comfortable like posting that, growing up, I saw this girl stitch, and she was like, so all these girls have that embedded in their head of that mindset of people with darker complexion can't do lighter hair and all this stuff. And so when they grow up and go to school, and what are they going to say to peers in school that are, you know, have darker complexion? What are they going to say to them? That's how bullying starts. That's how colorism in school settings, like it starts in the household. And it's insane. It was crazy to see that. It was just like that little girl, she pissed me off.
Her sister, the one that, and to
was
me,
crazy.
again, like Tatiana said, we don't know these people, but like to me, it's giving, you know, internalized colorism and
it's so
racism,
sad,
right?
because this little girl is just gonna like, she's growing up and she obviously already feels different. They call her, you know, morenita, prieta, all this stuff, and
which I know a lot of people also use the term morenita and prieta as like a term of endearment, but we have to think of context, and sometimes the way in which you say it matters, right? So if you go up to your daughter and you say, oh, mi morenita, and you give her a kiss and you say, you're so beautiful, that's a term of endearment, right? But if you say, estás prieta or estás morena, and you say you cannot do this because they will look ugly on you, you're clearly equating, you know, looking a certain way with being ugly, right? And I think that's the issue that people are taking with this video, that the parents don't seem to understand that, like, the way you said it, it's implying that being darker complected means you're ugly, right?
Yeah, and you can't
rock a certain hair color, which that's ridiculous, right?
And then it was like the gaslighting too of like she was crying, she was getting upset because her mom is gonna let her sister dye her hair, and I think the sister's even younger than her, and that's frustrating because your whole family's basically ganging up on you. Your mom, your two sisters are telling you, that's gonna wash you out, that's not gonna look good on you, you're dark, you can't pull off that hairstyle. And she starts crying, and the mom's like, are you crying? And then she's like, yes, and she like kind of starts like laughing it off, but it's just kind of like, damn, like that's so sad. And I just hope that little girl grows up and knows that, you know, she's beautiful and don't listen to that.
And this goes back to what we said, I think, a few episodes ago, that sometimes your first haters and bullies are your parents, right?
Your parents, your family, your siblings.
Family.
And it's sad.
It's really sad. And I think for me, what I took from it was like, wow, like, I wonder if these parents like understand like the impact of their words seemingly it doesn't seem like they do, because they were going on live saying that dad was like, why are you apologizing, we didn't do anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like he sees the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that for me took me back was that the followers that they have, we're still gifting them
Yeah, the
on
followers
their
were
live.
like, we love you, don't listen to those haters. And it wasn't even haters.
It wasn't.
They like literally like it was just people genuinely saying like your
Concerned.
daughter is gonna grow up, watch these videos back and remember this. Again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but if your younger daughter is even saying these comments and like if your whole family has this mindset, we know what's going on behind the scenes. At the end of the day, like we know the colorism in the household, and I'm praying for that little girl. Obviously, like we're not insinuating like anything like bad. We don't know their life, but it's just it's really sad to like see that, and I hope she doesn't deal with that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I feel like outside of having a biracial daughter, just my own experience growing up as Mexican, I feel like I dealt with a lot of colorism growing up. But for me, I think I always had this mindset of like, my features are beautiful. I don't care. I love my tan skin. I love, my hair color. I love, this doesn't mean that I don't explore with other colors and whatnot, but I just have never subscribed to these like general ideas of you can only rock certain colors and certain colors you can't because they don't look good with your skin tone. I've never believed in that, but I feel like, again, it takes a lot of work to undo like these toxic ideas that we have around beauty standards, right? And I feel like this was so like fitting, this conversation, to piggyback on our episode last week, what we talked about, right, around colorism. And it was really sad to see. And it's like Tatiana said, like, we don't think it's ever gonna get better, right?
Yeah, I think too, like I saw a stitch and it was just like, things like this are why your kids grow up and don't fucking talk to you and don't want to fuck with you, because
that's real.
you are grown up like this, and why they like distance themselves from their siblings and from their parents, because that's fucked up. And I'm just hoping that that little girl is doing well. And
we say all this again, like, I know I say this to say, like, if you are a content creator, I feel like it's different because you're creating content about your life, especially those like family channels, those family creators that as a family, their content is to just put their lives out there. I feel like you are putting yourself in a position where you're going to receive feedback from people, because unfortunately you're not like a celebrity, an actor that has a craft and you're putting it out in the world. No, your craft, I guess, is like your life and your business. So you kind of make it everyone else's business, right? To have a say in what you do. And all I want to say is to all those creators, I urge you to pay attention. If you say something and people call you in or out and say, hey, maybe you might want to reconsider what you're saying, take the time, take a step back and say, like, ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, right? Like, could people be right? Am I wrong? Right? Am I the problem? Right? Like, ask yourself, because yes, not a lot of people have the tools to know when things are problematic, right? Especially if you're in a bubble. But I feel like if thousands of people, I imagine thousands of people are reaching out to this family, letting them know what they're saying is problematic, like, listen, you may learn something from it and try to do better.
I think too, kind of ending that topic, another thing I saw this week that kind of like stood out to me on social media, it's like, what's new? On TikTok, the trend of like, she deserved the purse, like the mom one. Have you seen it?
Yes.
If you guys don't know, I'll briefly explain. It was just like a trend that started with, I think, a creator going to Target or something, and she saw a purse left in the baby section. And I think kind of the idea was like, oh, this mother left her purse here to get her child, something instead of herself. So that was the idea of it. We don't know for sure if that was the case. And people started doing it, and something started where or not, people started doing it, people started leaving like gift cards, cash in like the tops of baby formulas, like putting it in like the diapers, so that like when the mom buys it, like she opens it and like she has like, you know, something. Put little like gift cards, with like little notes, just saying like, hey, like this is for you, mom, like you deserve this. And I guess the whole story is like now people, obviously it's a trend that people are doing now, and it's so amazing that we're giving back. But it's always those people who have to ruin it. And I saw this TikTok, it's like this trend should have never came on social media, because there's always those bad people in the world. And I think sometimes we're naive to the fact that everyone is a good person in this world, and everyone's not. And people are starting to rip open the formulas and take the money that people put in there, because people are recording themselves like putting the like $20 bills in the like top of the formula, and like in the diaper boxes, like kind of putting it in there, or just like leaving it under too. But I think people now are starting to like put it in so people can't like really open it up. Yeah, they're seeing like people are recording like at Target, like all the formulas opened, and like people ripping open diapers and like mom stuff, and it's horrible. I'm like, damn, people are greedy, selfish, down bad. It's crazy that people do that. So that was one thing that was like, damn, like try to do a good thing, and people are trifling.
It sounds like, and I didn't know the story behind it, so thank you for sharing. Like, I had just seen the videos, and I assume like people were just making an assumption that mothers go out and buy these baby products, right? And that they, you know, they deserve a little something for themselves, right? That's, I guess, the whole idea behind it. And now, just, are you saying that people that don't even have kids are just randomly going in there and opening up these baby items?
That's like I think that's okay. I mean, we don't know if they have kids, but people are obviously seeing this trend. It's like a number one trend right now. And people, are going to these stores and opening up the shit because they know people are putting the money in there, and they're taking it, and it sucks.
That's so
it's like,
sad.
damn. And I saw this TikTok, and it was like, so whoever posted that, it's like, you don't even know if that was the case. It was probably a fucking college girl who was just happened to be walking past that aisle and dropped her fucking bag there and didn't want to get it. But yeah, I think a good thing came out of it. But then obviously in the long run, there's horrible people in this world that really ruin things. And also social media, I feel like everything is like posted if you do a good deed, and I think in that case it would have been better if it wasn't, obviously. And if, you know, parents, not just mothers, were to get that and be like, oh my god, this is so cool, like a $20 bill, like so. But yeah, that
is a nice thing to do though. But I would say if I had the money and I could afford to do that, like, I would do it. And I understand why you want to record what you're doing, and because obviously you get views and like whatever. But I would probably do it, record it, and post it like a month later. Right?
And I think people were starting to just like go into these stores and just like give it to like moms directly. Like people who they see that like have
that's
kids,
a good idea,
and like stuff like that. And I was like, that's cute, because people are doing too much and starting to like steal the money. And I was like, I wanted to do that too. I was gonna bring it up to you, and I was like, I wanted to do that. I feel like that would have been cool to do, or just like in general, like go up to people and like bless them.
No, I know. I feel like this is the season.
Ew, that was so cringe. You didn't even, she's so used to me being cringe.
You're not like, cringe. I think you're so cute.
She doesn't even like mind me.
No, I think you're like so cute. But no, this is kind of the season. We're entering into like the holiday season, and I feel like this is the season of giving back. So let us know, what is your way of giving back?
Maybe. I just hope one day we can be in this space where we can give back so much. I know we've done our part, and we've definitely gave back when we can, but I just want to be able to do more for people. So that would be cool one day. That's the goal.
That is the goal. That was our little update with social media.
Yes, we got a request from a listener. I know in one of the first episodes, I don't know if it was the first episode or which episode
first or second episode, something like that.
my mom had mentioned her story. She didn't tell the story, but she had mentioned the time when she was living in San Diego and she almost got kidnapped. So we got a listener request that we should tell that story. Not we, but you. So if you feel comfortable, Mom, telling that story, your experience, San Diego, that really traumatic, scary
Yeah.
experience. If you could feel comfortable, if not, I
Yeah.
totally get it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I can totally share it because I think it falls in line with even this time because it was,
Back
around,
to school,
yeah,
college
it was,
students.
yeah, it was in San Diego. It was like I think late September, early October. Um and a little trigger warning because it was traumatic and I'll tell the story. Um so I think I share it, I think it was the second episode. I share my college experience, right? What it was for me being a college student, being a non-traditional college student. So I think I had mentioned after high school I had moved to San Diego. I enrolled in community college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself. I wanted to get away from the town that we are from. I wanted to just try something different, right? I wanted to leave my house. I was 18. I thought I knew it all. I wanted to move out on my own. Um, my brother lives in San Diego, and at the time he was attending San Diego State. So he was a student out there. Yeah, he was a student out there. And I decided to move. One of my cousins I was really close with at the time was also attending. I believe she was attending UC San Diego. And so I wanted to move. I had a brother, I had a cousin, and I wanted to also move. So I enrolled in community college. I ended up rooming with this roommate from hell, which I will also, let's put a pin in that. We'll also tell the story. She ended up taking me to court and suing me. And
What?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell that after this.
Yes. I have stories for days. So
She really
anyway,
does.
I ended up rooming with this random person. In the beginning, it was, it was fine. I met her through, mutual friends. She was looking for a roommate, and I was, going to be moving out to San Diego, so I decided to give it a try. And so we moved in together, or she already had that apartment and I moved in. Mind you, I didn't do any research whatsoever.
First red flag. No, I'm just
First
kidding.
red flag, yes, on my end. And also my parents, like they kind of just let me move out. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a car. And I was moving to a whole different city, like 6 hours, or no, it's not. It's like 4 hours away from our hometown.
Yeah.
So I was moving, and I had no transportation, so I was going to take public transportation. So I didn't realize how far my home was going to be from my community college, but it ended up being like a 45-minute commute.
Oh god.
And so it was like I lived on one side of town and my school was on the opposite side of town. And if you live in San Diego, it was like really far away. And so I remember my brother asked me, like, how are you getting to school? And my brother had his own life going on. He had his own job. He had like his school schedule. He was busy. And so here I am, this naive 18-year-old thinking that, I know it all. I told him, oh, I'm going to take public transportation. Not a big deal. Mind you, we're from a very small town. It's very sheltered. It's pretty safe. It's relatively safe. And so I had taken public transportation throughout my life, as a high school student. So I didn't think it was a big deal. So fast forward.
Newsflash. No,
Right. I move, and then it's my first week of college, and I'm kind of starting to get homesick, right? Because I'm not meeting as many people as I thought. My cousin was out in San Diego doing her own thing, living her own life. I kind of was starting to get lonely. I wasn't really making any friends. For some reason, in my naive mind, I thought I'm moving to San Diego. I thought San Diego was like small, like our town that we live in, which
San Diego's big.
San Diego's huge, right?
Yeah.
And so like I didn't think it through, right? And so once I was actually there, I realized like, oh shit, like I live so far away from my school. I have to take public transportation. Like I don't really have any friends. So I had I think my first class was like at noon because I didn't want to like take an early morning class. So that was like second mistake. Taking classes so late, which meant that I had to my last class would get at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.
Ugh.
And so I had to take the bus all the way back home, which was again like on the bus like an hour and a half, right? And so then the apartment complex that I lived in, I didn't even live in dorms. I lived in an apartment complex. Red flag number 3, the apartment complex I lived in was right around the corner from a strip club.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so again,
Not the strip
I had no
club.
idea that the place that I was going to be moving into, where it was located, I met this person through mutual friends, and they're like, so-and-so needs a roommate, you need a place to live, so let's, introduce you guys, and that was all I knew. So I signed the lease, being naive, not really knowing the neighborhood that I was going to be living in. And so I moved in and I realized my apartment complex is like right around the corner from a strip club, which there was also a daycare across the street from the strip club, which was really weird. It was really, really weird. And then all around there were businesses like auto body shops, like, I don't know, like a liquor store. I think there was like a Taco Bell. It was like a really busy street, like a really popular busy street in San Diego. And so the bus stop where I would get dropped off was like a good mile away from my apartment complex. So I had to like get off the bus and walk like a mile, but it was like all like on a busy street, right?
Yeah.
And so there were businesses, but those businesses would close early. And so I did that whole walk, that whole commute and walk like probably for a good 2 weeks. So I got comfortable,
Yeah,
right?
taking the same route.
Taking the same route, walking, getting off the bus. So this one time was different. I remember the time change had already happened.
Oh, no.
And so it was like 5:30, 6 p.m. and it was already dark. It was pretty dark. So I remember that day. Oh yeah, the reason why I took the bus later than usual was because I made my first friend. And I ended up taking the wrong bus, in fact.
Aw.
So this bus dropped me off. Say you live on like, I don't know, like Sunset Street. Let's just make up a name. And I met this girl and she's like, oh, I also live on Sunset Street. You can take the bus that I take. Well, she lived on the whole other side of town on Sunset
She
Street.
set you up.
She was from
No,
one
just
point and
kidding.
I was on the opposite. So it was like 15 miles
Oh my god.
away from her house. So then we took the bus together and she gets off the bus and I'm like, wait, this is not my stop. And she's like, well, this is my stop, girl. Like, good luck to you. I'll see you tomorrow at school. So then I'm like, on the bus, it's getting dark. I didn't even have a cell phone at the time.
No cell
No
phone
cell
is crazy.
phone, right?
Oh my gosh.
This was in early 2000, right?
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, so I get off the bus and my body is already like telling me, right? My internal warning system's already going off. Like I'm getting the butterflies in my stomach. I'm feeling like hypervigilant. My body's already telling me like something's off, right? Listen to your body, right?
Yeah, listen
To
your
your body
gut,
because your gut
literally.
will always tell you when something is off, right?
Yes.
And so I get off the bus and I'm the last person to get off the bus. And so I'm getting ready to cross the street and my nervous system was already activated. I was getting ready to like fight or run or freeze, right? I get off the bus, I cross the street, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I need to walk fast. So I look across the street and then I see a white van.
Not the fucking white van.
Yes, it was like the
Oh my
typical white van with no windows
God.
and
Just like the front windows.
just the
tinted.
front windows are tinted and it's like a white van, right? With the sliding door. And I look across and I see this guy and he's standing outside his van and we make eye contact. And right when we made eye contact, I knew something was wrong. I knew my body immediately went into panic mode and I started bolting. I started just running.
No.
And he saw me. We made eye contact and he got in his van right away and started speeding towards me. And so he had to cross like a busy intersection. And so he crossed it. He was speeding and I was like running as fast as I could.
No.
Right? I was crying. I was so scared and I was running and he was chasing me and he was driving really fast after me. So then he puts the van in park and he gets out and starts running after me, just chasing me. Out of nowhere,
Oh my
all the
gosh.
businesses, mind you, were closed. It was already closed and there was nowhere I could run, right? I was still pretty far away from my apartment. And so I started running and out of nowhere, I see this man in a car getting in his car and reversing. I didn't know this man. I didn't know this man wasn't with the person chasing me. I get in his car and I told him, someone's chasing me. Someone is after me. And he was like, yeah, I know. I see him. Where do you live? And I'm like, can you please take me home? And he's like, yes, I'll take you home. Where do you live? So I'm like, I live like a couple blocks away from here. This angel, because
Oh
he
my
was
God.
an angel.
Find him. No, I'm
Yes.
just
He took me home. He didn't ask any questions. He saw me crying and he said, yes, I'll take you home. He took me home. He didn't ask me anything else other than where do you live? And he
Yeah.
dropped me off right inside my apartment complex.
Yeah, and not even just these days, but in general, that's like,
you don't know.
yeah, you don't know. So that is
Before I got into his car, I looked back and the guy was like a few feet away from me, ready to snatch me up and take me in his car.
Oh my God.
This guy was wearing like a baseball cap and he was wearing like a hoodie.
It's
and
giving the call guy.
Yes.
The kidnapper.
And so then this nice man drops me off at home and he's like, are you okay? Are you going to be okay? And I was like, yes. I got off the car. I ran into my apartment. I locked it. And I was just sobbing, crying. My roommate at the time wasn't even home. She was like, I don't know, out of town. And I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any other friends. I just had my brother. And mind you, I'm like, if I call my brother, he's going to come over here with all his friends. And I kind of already felt like I'm running the risk of putting my brother in harm's way because he's my brother. He's going to be upset. He's going to want to go kick this guy's ass, right?
Yeah.
And so then I decided to call my brother because I was really scared. I didn't know if this guy had seen that
Yeah,
where this guy dropped
yeah.
right, where this guy had dropped me off, and I'm thinking, this guy now knows where I live. What if he's waiting for me? What if he's stalking me? What do I do? And I didn't think to call the police. Like for some reason, I was like, I'm not gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
And so then I call my brother. My brother comes over with his roommates and a couple other friends. And my brother's really mad. And he's like, I want to go find this guy. And then his friends were like, luckily his friends were like, no, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, I think we should just call the police. Like, you can't get in trouble. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
So we call the police. The police come. And they take all my information. I told him what happened. And then they're like, sure enough, here's my card. We'll call you if we hear anything.
Yeah.
So then a few hours later, the officer that took the police report calls me back and says, we found the guy. He was in the corner at the daycare, right around the corner from my apartment complex. And he was waiting for me. He was parked, waiting. So the shocker is they ended up
Oh.
arresting the guy, and it turns out they were looking for him. He was wanted for kidnapping.
No. For kidnapping?
Yes. And a week prior to that incident, a girl had gone missing. A college student in San Diego had gone missing, and she was never found. And I don't know if he was connected to this case. Yes.
No. I'm literally like gonna cry for you because what if, oh my gosh.
No, it was so scary. So, of course, like I felt a sense of relief to know this guy had been caught and he was arrested, but also like the fear of like that could have been me.
Yeah.
I could have been his victim. Like he could have taken me. They would have never found me because the border was like a few miles away from where we
Oh
lived.
my god, that's right.
Like, right, I started thinking all these things. So sure enough, like after that incident, my brother stayed with me for a while, and he was like, come stay the night at my house. Like, you know, you can't stay here alone. I don't think my roommate was out of town because I think she got home, and she was like, the only one time she was kind to me, she was like, you know, don't worry, they got him. Like, we're safe, we'll be fine. After, like, that whole night, I didn't sleep. I was awake. I was crying. The next day, I didn't fall asleep till like 7 in the morning. I didn't go to work. For a whole week, I was in my apartment. I couldn't go anywhere. I missed class. I missed work. I didn't even want to go outside. I didn't even want to go out and peek through the window because I felt like this guy was there. I was finally able to leave my apartment and go to work, and I was hypervigilant. I was looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
I had nightmares all night, every night. I would break out in cold sweats in the middle of the night. I would have like the flashbacks of the incident.
gosh.
It was so scary. And finally,
scary.
I couldn't sleep. I was going crazy. And I called my sister and I told her, can I tell you something and don't tell mom? And of course, she said, no, I won't. Of course, like, don't fucking tell your siblings anything because they're going to tell your parents. And in this case, I'm glad that she did.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, she told my mom right away. And my mom called me and she was like, you're coming home. You're coming home. Like, there's no way we're leaving you out there. Like, you don't have a car. You have to walk to work. You have to take the bus to school. Like, yes, this guy got arrested, but what if, like, you know, he's
never
released?
know.
You never
Yeah.
know. Like, it's not safe. And so I was conflicted because I didn't really know what to do. I think this was October because I had 2 months left on my lease. I had November and December. So I ended up paying my roommate the month of December. I paid my December rent. And because I gave her a 30-day notice, you know, I told her, hey, because of this incident that happened, I'm going to move back home. It was October, so I paid November, and technically that was 30 days. Well, no, she took me to court saying that I broke the lease and that I didn't pay her rent for December.
Girl. Bitch.
Knowing what happened and everything, she didn't care. She took me to court. And because I was naive enough to like not give her a written notice or anything or talk to the landlord, I was dealing with like PTSD. I was like traumatized. I almost got kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't think to like do any of this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, that ended up being a separate thing, a whole stressor that I had to deal with. But at the time, like my parents just picked me up and I had to move back home, and I felt like a failure. I was like, I moved out. I was trying to be independent and be on my own, and you know, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so for the longest time, I think for several months, I had nightmares every night. I was really scared. And even moving back home, I knew I was safe. I still couldn't take the bus for the longest time. I didn't want to go out anywhere when it was dark. And so, you know, it took a while. It took a long time for me to like really get back into my routine and feel safe.
Yeah.
Because every little thing would startle me and I didn't trust anyone around me.
Yeah.
It was really, really scary. So that was the story of when I almost got
My
kidnapped.
gosh.
I know. And I think about that often, and I'm like, wow, like that man was really there
He was gonna.
to save my life,
Yeah.
because I could have been kidnapped, I could have been unalived. I like, who knows what would have happened.
My gosh.
And I always also thank myself for always being mindful and listening to my body, because I'm telling you, right when I got off the bus, I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
This is before I had seen the guy. This is before I knew I was in danger. Like, something was telling me, like, you're not safe.
Yeah.
Right. And so I listened to my body and I looked around. I know I said I didn't have a cell phone at the time, but like, if I had a cell phone at the time, like, sometimes we don't realize that looking
you're
down
in
on
that
our phones, right?
situation, yeah.
And that's why I always tell you, right? We always tell you, Tatiana, be mindful when you're walking in a parking lot, when you're out and about. Don't be on your phone, because you never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
And it takes seconds, right, for something like this to happen.
Exactly.
And so now everywhere I go, I'm like aware. I look around and I check my surroundings. I try not to be on my phone. And yeah, like, you just never
crazy.
know what can happen.
Yeah, and you had like told me like a little bit of this story, but not like the full detail. So that was like genuinely like reaction to like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that's so scary.
know.
No.
You wouldn't be
Diego,
here if I
no.
had been kidnapped
I know.
and
Oh my
taken out,
gosh.
right? And so
Do you ever get like scared going to San Diego now, or is it kind of, does it bring like bad memories, or is it just kind of like you never really go in like that area, or is it kind of like,
I don't think I've visited the area that I used to live in when I was younger. My brother still lives out there, and when I go now, I don't go alone. Like, I go with family.
yeah,
You know, I
it's
go.
different. You guys go to TJ
Yeah,
pretty often,
yeah.
so but
I go with my husband, with Tatiana's stepdad, and obviously I feel very safe with him.
yeah. I don't think I've gone to San Diego in a while.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
like passing, yeah, but like
Yeah.
actually gone, no.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go. I know that's kind of like a bad segue after that story, but I know there's a lot to do out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, it goes to show you, like, lack of preparation and just being impulsive and doing things without thinking it through.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine you moving somewhere where I
Yeah.
don't go and check out the place with you. And like, I feel like, no, you have a whole different life than I did back then. And
Yeah.
but again, it could happen anywhere, because we had that one incident at Costco here, remember?
It was like for a while, it was in our town, it was brought up on like social media. Obviously we know like the huge problem of like human trafficking and how scary it is, and the stories we hear every day about it. But in our town, a lot of people are like naive, like, no, it doesn't happen here. It happens everywhere. Let's be for real. It happens everywhere. No matter like how much we don't want to think it does. It happens
Because
everywhere.
it's very much a college town. We have
Yeah.
the community college and then the university here.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of college students here in general. But so we're already kind of like aware, because there had been social media posts of like Target, like our local Target. There's been like weird situations, and like girls have been like approached with guys and like weird stuff, almost being trafficked, and stuff
or the
like that.
cars
just
are
posts.
tagged.
Yeah, weird
something
things,
like that.
all signs of like human trafficking. So we were at Target one day.
It was Costco.
And, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Costco. Sorry, we were at Costco one day, and I'm already like very aware as it is, and I think I get that from you and just
Yeah.
how you raised me. But I'm very self-aware. We all have our moments, but for the most part, like, I'm very aware. And we were just doing our thing at Costco, and I see these. I think it was two people, right? But it was one
Two,
person
yeah.
that we kept seeing continuously, but they were like together. So it was this person that we kept seeing every like aisle that we went on. Costco is a fucking big ass warehouse, wholesale store. So, you're gonna run into people over and over again, but like more than the the usual.
Yeah.
So we kept
And
running
most people
into
have
this
big,
person.
like a cart, right?
This person did not have a cart in Costco. First red flag, why you don't have a cart in Costco?
And they
If
were
you're going to
walking
Costco-
around the aisles just staring at us, like staring.
Yeah. So we kept seeing them, and I brought it up to my mom first because I saw it first, I think. And I was like, Mom, like, this person, like, I swear I keep seeing them. Like, every aisle we go, like, seconds later, they pop out in that aisle looking at us. And, like, they're on the phone, too. And they get on the phone. And that is just another red flag because, you know, the stories we see of they're on the phone with someone else outside and they get our description. And, you know, just our head goes to that. And who knows their intentions? Who knows if it, like, what could have happened out of that? But we were aware. We definitely, you know, caught on, and we I forgot what we did. What
No,
happened?
I think what happened is you spotted them 1st. They were two people together, and one of them, you know, like
they would like split up.
They would split up, and neither of them had a shopping cart. So yeah, you could be part
Just
of a
like
bigger
sketchy,
group, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But we're like, no, it started to feel weird because every aisle we would go on, we would bump into them, and they were like specifically just looking at us,
Being
like directly
weird,
staring, not making it, you know. They were making it obvious they were staring at us, and then they pulled out their phone, and it felt like they were taking a picture.
Oh yeah.
And so then it started feeling, again, listen to your body, right?
Yeah.
Something in
I was getting nervous.
Right.
I was getting hot. I was like, all the signs like were there.
Your body got activated,
Yeah.
and mine too, and I knew, like, this feels different, this feels dangerous. So then I looked straight at that person in their eyes, and I just said, I told Tatiana.
Oh, you said something. Yes. I remember.
I was like, yeah, that's weird. We keep bumping into them. I see them. And then we lost them, right?
And then you said, I think the last interaction we had with them was like, we both caught on, and you said a comment. You were like, when they were like a couple feet away from us, you were like, oh, well, at least they have cameras here. Like, at least they have security. Or you said something around
I think I said, yes, I feel like they're following us, and I made eye contact when I said it, and I said, good thing that Costco has cameras everywhere, so if something happens to us, they will catch the footage of what's happening. And after we said that out loud, we didn't see them again. They disappeared.
When I tell you they disappeared, we did not see them again. And I was even scared to exit the store at that point because I was over here thinking that they had, you know, someone plotted outside waiting for us. But yeah, that was a crazy story, and that was really scary.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show, like, please always be aware and listen to your body. Like how he said, I think the whole thing is just like, listen to your body and the signs that it gives you. Your gut really never lies. Your gut has to do like with everything with your body. So
and I know some people are probably listening, and you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference between being like nervous and anxious? Like today, Tatiana was describing, like, I was like overstimulated at the Lemon Festival. Like I wanted to get out of there. What's the difference between being like just overstimulated and being activated because you feel like you're in danger, right? And I feel like your gut, like your stomach, you feel it in you, and you start feeling scared.
Yeah.
And when you start feeling that fear, and that hypervigilance, I think your body is getting ready to run or fight, right? And your body is made to prepare you to fight, fly, or freeze, right?
Yeah.
To survive, and it will do that. And so when your body is getting activated, it's because it feels like it's in danger. It's trying to protect you. But when your mind is just perseverating on a thought, or your mind is imagining things, you know, you might want to consider, like, is it just me overthinking, or is it really just my body telling me?
Yeah.
So I would say, like, also remember that, like, when we're nervous, because we might see, or excited, we may get a little bit nervous, right?
Yeah.
If you're anticipating seeing a friend or a crush or someone, you're you know, your body's going to get activated, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Again, everything about feeling fear, that like just fear in your gut, and like the hypervigilance and just the discomfort in your body, don't ignore that.
Yeah.
That's different than being nervous or excited. It's very different. And just be aware of your surroundings, and, even if you feel like you're in the safest town, you really never know. You never really know.
Really, you do not know.
If you're one of those people that is an introvert and you feel like I'm just going to be on my phone so people can leave me alone. Yeah, like I get that, but also it could be dangerous because people may be watching you and you don't even realize they're watching you, right?
People are weird, and I think we've come to that
conclusion
that people are crazy in this world. People are ruthless. People are weird, crazy, everything. So just be careful and be cautious. It's rather be safe than sorry, because obviously we know sometimes we can jump to conclusions but I rather do that than be
in
a
danger.
Dumbass and be in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
That was not a joke, but I'm just
saying, because
literally,
it could happen.
like,
It could happen.
So
yeah, and I think even like till this day, I think it still affects me because I know there are times that I want to go for a run, I want to go for a bike, for a bike ride, I want to go on a walk, and I don't feel safe, right?
Yeah, and it's sad that we can't do that, because me too, I want to go on a freaking run, but I'm personally scared. Like, we have like a bike path close to where we live, and like a lot of people run and bike, but that's just scary.
So listen to your body, and be aware of your surroundings. Don't be too trusting of people. Also, like this person like that saved me, he ended up being a good person and he saved me, but he could have also been with this guy that was trying to kidnap me.
Yeah. Or just a guy who didn't have good intentions.
Yeah.
So that was really, God was really there.
On my side.
And that was Hi, Mom.
I know.
And just like to know she has so many more stories. So let us know what you guys think about the story. If you guys have had any situations like that, if you guys have been through stuff that's been scary, anything like that, we'd love to hear it and know that you were okay. Or but I think that's gonna wrap up today's episode.
And remember, we do have resources linked in our description box. If this triggered anything traumatic that you've ever been through and you need any professional support from a therapist, there are many resources. And please seek professional support.
Yes, definitely.
Because it's important, right? So that was the story for today.
I hope you guys liked this episode. We're hoping that we can get like full audio on this one. I mean, not full audio. What am I saying? Cut that out, XD. But yeah, we're hoping that you guys like this episode. Let us know what you think about it. As always, give us feedback, engage, like, comment. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Also as a reminder, these episodes will now be available on YouTube. They're coming up. And Tatiana and I will be doing other content on YouTube as well.
Stay tuned. Not just YouTube, but like TikTok. I love doing my little get ready with me's, but I've been wanting to vlog my weeks, so maybe look out for those. All of our social medias are always going to be linked. We have our link tree as well. So yeah, just look out for those, and I hope you guys like this week's episode. Like I had said multiple times already.
All right.
But yeah, you guys, I hope you guys have a good week. And we'll see you guys next week.
Take care, and again, be aware of your surroundings.